Hey everyone, this is Hiil Street Soul, and you're tuned in to the core with DaMillennialCoach, discussing topics on real life. Check it out. Everywhere you go, don't forget the ghetto. Listen to the core.
What up, people? It's the Millennial Coach, and we are talking about red flags in organizations, and today is day 4. So, I'm talking about how to move on. It's not easy. Not easy. So, if you've experienced sexism, racism, homophobia, Islamophobia, gender discrimination, the list is endless of types of discrimination, sexual harassment, and some companies just refuse to do anything about it. You have to move on. But before we get into that, I am an accredited coach. You're locked into the core, and this is my lab. And I'm going to be changing labs shortly, not for long, just temporarily, because I'm going to be in Paris. I'm going to Paris. And I go and hang out with my girlfriend. We're going to actually see the Alvin Ailey ballet, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm almost ready. Hair's did, and yeah, hair's did, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to Paris. So when the background looks different, don't be surprised. So I talk all things leadership, and there is so much to talk about when it comes to self-leadership, self-development, organizational leadership, and organizational development. I really do believe and am a proponent of growth and sustainability. And if you are someone who genuinely wants to make changes, not just in your life, but in your organization, whether you're a small company or you're a larger company, feel free to contact me. I am DaMillennialCoach, DaMillennialCoach @gmail.com. So before we get into today's topic, I have a TV show to get into. So recommendation. Honestly, Wendy Williams, I don't know where you are, but I need you to come back. Nobody is talking about this situation with Diddy. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't really care anymore. And I think Jaguar Wright is now the commentator on this whole debacle. But Wendy Williams, if you are watching, we miss you. We wish for your speedy recovery. And I do hope that you heal from whatever illness that you currently have. But we miss you, and we miss your hot topics. And my hot topics is not as close as it is like you. So hurry up and come back to our screens or podcast or something, at least. But yalla, let's go. Yenkop. So, Joan, another 6-part episode. I think it's ITV. I think it's ITV, not sure. Because I've got, my friends call it a dodgy website. It's not dodgy, okay? It's economical. So whatever's played in the US, UK, Australia, it comes onto the platform I use. And Joan has been a great show. It's about a single mother who will do whatever it takes to take care of herself and her daughter, but her trauma destroys her future. So that's my interpretation of it. Okay, that's my interpretation of it. So if you do get the opportunity to watch Joan, Joan, please do. It's brilliant. So we're talking about red flags and how to move on from organizations that possess a multitude of sins that are embedded in red flags. So let me tell you a story. So I was in Manchester. I'm in the gym, minding my own business on the treadmill, sweating I'm on the cross trainer actually. I remember it. So I was out of breath. It's like, you're doing that. You're like, and then a director of an advertising company calls me because I've been coaching the directors. And she's crying. She is crying. So I had some fish earlier. Tilapia and plantain with pepper all over it. It was so good. I digress. But she called me. She's crying her eyes out. She was really, honestly, she was lovely. I remember her. And how the executive team, members of the executive team spoke to her, for someone to call me and cry, that's a problem. Because I don't work, what happens when you work and you support organizations, you don't work in the organization. So how do you challenge people's behaviors? So she was called to see you next Tuesday. She was shut out of meetings, just treated really poorly. So I said to her, I'm going to be really honest with you. For your own mental health, you need to leave this organization. If you choose to, for self-care purposes, if you choose to go on sick leave in the UK, you can go on sick leave for 6 months and be paid, and they will reduce your pay or they will pay you off. Depending on the policies of the organization, when you go into an organization, please read the policies on sick pay and how long they'll pay you for if you are feeling highly traumatized or ill. Because there should be some level of compensation for trauma. And I do think at some point in the near future, organizations are going to start feeling the pinch of toxic leadership and toxic environments and red flags, because people will be able to start suing them. As I said, if you are watching from the US, in America, you guys sue over a broken toenail. Yeah. And sometimes you win. Look at Tiny and T.I. They just won $71 million for the likeness of the OMG girls. Now, an organization had been replicating the look of the band that they had birthed with one of their daughters in there, Zanique. And they won $71 million in like, I'm like, just give me 2 mil. Like, even you lot, if you're here, if you're watching this, yeah, just drop me even 500k. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. Like, I'm not gonna duplicate. No OMG girls, I don't even have the capacity. So, you get me? But in the UK, we need to be a bit more savage. We need to be a bit more savage. And we need to hold companies accountable for some of the toxicity and trauma that people are experiencing. If you have watched the the Muhammad Al-Fayed, may they both rest in peace though. But apparently, allegedly, because I ain't getting sued, I ain't got anything to offer you except for these fake earrings. They're not even gold, so let's not even try and sue me. But the Muhammad Al-Fayed case of sexual abuse. These women, honestly, when you see how broken they are, that trauma that they experience has sat in them, where some people haven't even worked since they were abused by him. So, and it's a shame that he has passed away. And abuse doesn't have to be sexual for it to really have impact. When someone makes comments as a black woman about our hair, I find that quite abusive, because why are you making something a point that is not even a subject? It's not your business. No one's sitting there commenting about the fact that your hair is just like string and it doesn't move most days. Like, no one's making any comments. And if we were to make comments about it, you'll be the first to go to HR. So why do people always have to have something to say? So my thing is, either take sick pay for a good few months, get therapy, because a lot of organizations are offering counseling. So take the counseling and take time off for mental health stress, or leave. So the therapy, as part of a lot of organizations, is a service that is provided. You cannot be in a toxic workplace that has a multitude of red flags and not address the pain that is creating for you internally. The other way of self-care is you have to find an outlet to talk to that may not be in the organization. And the reason I'm saying that, because sometimes, and this happened to me in this last contract I was on. There was a really beautiful girl, and she was so unhappy and I was unhappy. So what happens? We trauma bond. That's not cool. Should I tell you why? We bring each other down, and I felt it, she felt it. So we actually stopped engaging, because I didn't want to traumatize her and she didn't want to traumatize me. And she's not happy, but we realized that our communication wasn't healthy because we were stuck in an environment that actually didn't value who we were, what we contributed, or had any respect for us. People didn't respect us. And so, although we were each other's outlet for a while, but it got to a place where even I was like, this is not healthy, it's not good. The other thing I would definitely say as a form of self-care, if you can go freelance and just work on projects, and in and out, like I've been doing freelance for about 12 years, and this is the best thing when you're working in learning development and coaching and so on. You don't get involved in the politics. And I don't even know why there's politics in the organization and why people are manipulative and backstabbing and all that, and nasty. But if you've got the opportunity to, and you're brilliant at what you do, go freelance. Because that is going to give you so much freedom and peace of mind, where you just come in, do the job, and you don't actually have any friends in the organization because you're just there to just participate, do something and move on. So I hope that's useful, because if you don't address your self-care situation and how you're going to manage, and listen, everyone's got bills to pay, everyone's dealing with something, some people have health issues, some people are carers to their parents, some people have disabled children, some people are battling chronic illnesses. So your self-care is absolutely imperative in the midst of toxicity, because if you don't deal with it, what's going to happen? You're going to implode or explode. And I know I exploded. Not a good thing, but I exploded. And if you implode, then you can have a mental health break or psychosis. We don't tend to take these things seriously. We think, it's just another, no. This is really quite a big problem. What will happen if you don't look for self-care is you will experience a level of depression, disassociation, and you may start drinking, taking substances, or overeating in order to cope with the trauma you're experiencing. So if that is something that is heading in that direction, you've got to start thinking about exercise. Even if you go for a walk, I don't care if it's 10 minutes to Tesco's and come back. You know, I prefer Tesco's over Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's though, okay, Tesco's, listen, just FYI. Tesco's, your double cream isn't as good as Sainsbury's. I don't know where you get your cream from, but it ain't as good as Sainsbury's. And to both supermarkets and all supermarkets in the UK, your double cream or fresh cream is not as good as France. Because when I have cream in this country, I get stomach cramps. When I have cream over there, I'm fine. So FYI, if you've got lactose intolerant, go to France and try some of their stuff. I don't know what they're putting in the stuff here, but it ain't good. But you need to check on your health, and you need to, yes, have some ice cream sometimes or chocolate, but please indulge in fruits and fiber. And the reason I'm saying that, it impacts how your brain functions and your chemicals, and what triggers your, not just your immunity, but your nervous system. Your nervous system, when it's out of whack, impacts your immunity. So have you not noticed, if you are not in a good space or you're not eating properly, you get sick? So your nervous system is your immunity. So you've got to keep it healthy. The other thing I want you to take care when you are in a toxic environment, it's not your imagination when you are seeing and experiencing the nonsense that you are seeing and experiencing. I just want to put that out there. You're not crazy at all. At all. Trust your gut and your instincts. Something ain't right. People ain't right. And when people are left to do whatever they want, and what they want isn't nice, you ain't imagining it. So I want you to just really trust yourself that what you see is actually what's happening. Okay? Because we are always taught to not believe our own minds for whatever reason. Know that what you're experiencing is real. You ain't crazy. Gosh, this is a heavy topic, man, because I know I've gone through so much issues when I've worked in organizations. Not all organizations, there's been some great organizations, but I mean, when it's not, like when you say you're dating someone, when it's good, or when it's bad, it's bad. But I'm the kind of person that's not even necessarily involved with me. I just see how nasty people are. And I'm just like, remember a guy, we were in Miami at a conference, and he was like, I don't even know what you do anyway. Screamed at this girl in a conference across the room. The girl was in tears. And I just thought to myself, this is precisely what I'm talking about when it comes to this organization. People talk to people how they like, and they don't give a toss about the impact. The guy, he says controversial things and provocative things, and everyone's like, oh, that's just how he is. Honestly, you're a dinosaur. The way you think is archaic, it's toxic, it's nasty. And I'm glad that I wasn't interested in anything you had to say as a person, because your behavior is just nasty. And if you've got kids or grandkids and they're experiencing your kind of personality in their workplace, that's your karma, because that's not okay. You cannot go around just talking to people how you like, and then, you know what the leadership team are doing? That's just the way he is. It's just incredible. It's incredible, the nasty people that exist in organizations and the behavior that is so acceptable. So, like, subscribe, share with your people. Thanks for watching, vibing, and listening to me today. I really appreciate it. And I hope that some of these remedies, some of the trauma that you are going through, and honestly, it's better to leave somewhere to stay in it. I know we've got bills, but sometimes your mental health is actually going to be saved, which will enhance the next role that you get in a healthy way. I'm the Millennial Coach. Thanks for watching, and you've been listening to and watching The Call.